People say we are atheists and atheists, right? Atheists also will not function without energy, right? Everybody on the planet is by default spiritual. I used to construct a lot of soundproof rooms, right?
Yeah.
If you make the soundproof so perfect, you will hear the sound of your heartbeat, your blood vessels. It has a sound, right?
Yeah.
Only a meditator can hear the inside sounds. Meditator can actually see the inside. So even if you drag a thick-skinned atheist also, he will feel something at a beach, empty beach, especially in the Purnami nights.
You're conversing with the nature itself. So
You will, something beyond the physical will get activated and you will be melted down and you will become silent. All your ego, arrogance, attitude and everything will fall down.
exactly.
When you look at that spot. Dhruvarati is just a teleprompter reader, number one. He's been promoted by Pakistani jihadis and this Aam Aadmi Party. In most of my videos, people think I speak against Ambedkar and all this thing, right? But I have one positive thing about Ambedkar. He is the only person who declared Muslims cannot coexist with Hindus.
I think Sadhguru attracts youngsters a lot.
He is convincing the toughest.
Exactly.
The Angrez. His job is different. He's more Hindu than any other Hindu in the country. I have no regret that my channel is gone after watching that movie, because the same language which I used to speak on String channel is now been spoken in theaters. My God, editing is like meditation for me. When I get into the action, I forget myself.
Have you seen Balaya's films?
Yeah.
The moment he sees the villain, he does this, automatically his hands come out. So you should give something nice. Give a flower. Heart. Why?
Top personality, bottom municipality.
See, we all do it. Hi, hello, happy to see you all through this show, Journalists Unplugged, presented by SMaRT. Today I have with me Vinodh of String. I'm very happy to see you and namaste.
Namaskaram.
So first things first, you are a master in spirituality. So I want you to tell to this generation, all Instagram people, Snapchat people, what is spirituality in a very simple way?
Yes. See, the beauty of my guru is putting complex things in simple terms, in a common language. So coming to the word spirituality, you can decode the word itself. There is the word spirit, which means beyond body, right?
Yes.
We are dealing with things which are beyond body. So those who are interested in dealing with things beyond body only are called spiritual people. Spirituality means, first of all, you need to understand that there is a whole lot of life which is beyond the physicality. People who are rooted in only in physicality, who know the physical reality, they cannot decipher the spiritual happenings. I'll explain with a simple example. We have, see, this is a body, right? This has a mind, right? If you compare this with hardware and software, for the computer to function, even though you have a beautiful software and a hardware, you need a power plug, right?
True.
Same thing, for the body to function, we need energy source. We are functioning through the energy that is passing through us. So you tell me with your simple sense, can the mind, which is powered by the energy, can the mind understand how the energy functions?
For me, energy is food. So I eat food, I get energy.
Good joke. But
No, that is my understanding.
Good. I mean to say, the power source which is powering the life itself, when you had not eaten anything, also you functioned as a human being, right? When you came to earth. I mean to say, that particular power cannot be understood through mind, because the very mind itself is an expression of energy, right?
Yes.
The act of understanding itself is one more expression of energy. There is no such thing as, the scientists have come to a conclusion that the inside of an atom is unknowable. They have coined a word known as unknowable, right? When you understand things through spirituality, you can understand. It is not unknowable. See, I can see only Vibgyor pattern. That doesn't mean that existence is all Vibgyor only. We have infrared, ultrasonic, and that is also limited. So, learning about things which the five senses cannot perceive, perceiving things which the five senses cannot perceive is called spirituality. People who are interested in pursuing this are called sadhakas or brahmacharis or sannyasis, because once you touch the life beyond physical, you are not interested in physical, right? Physical comforts, I mean to say. You don't tend to gather things, you don't tend to gather these stones, gold, diamond, money, all these things.
Okay, so basically, what I understand is spirituality is non-tangible. It's there, but you can only feel it. You can't.
Instead of understanding in terms of tangibility of resource, you can understand that everybody on the planet is by default spiritual. It is just that you need to come to awareness of it. People say we are atheists and atheists, right? Atheists also will not function without energy, right? Dealing with that energy is what spirituality is all about. In Hindutva and other religions, there are so many misconceptions out of it. These things are concocted into so many different understandings. People who haven't totally explored will start speaking about it. That's when it gets messed up.
Yeah. So, I've seen these people doing, we have these spirituality influencers. Yeah, they wake up 4 a.m., they close their eyes, do something. What they do, I mean, somebody waking up at 4 a.m., doing sadhana or yoga, whatever, and 6 o'clock go to milk shop, put tea, drink it, come back. I mean, at 9 o'clock, a human should sleep. How can you continue your day? You're understanding what I'm saying, right? So what do people actually do when they close their eyes? What do they see? If I keep my hands like this and close my eyes, I'll sleep.
See, there is a thin line between a deep sleep state and a deep wakeful state, which is known as sushupti. It's a state of sushupti. You are deep sleep at the same time fully awake. You heard of it? You can't say that this is contradictory.
I understood.
Deep sleep means how can you be awake? Is the basic question that atheists will ask, right? See, I'll tell you something. Even when you are a kid, when you are looking at a book and when you are bored, your eyes are open and you are not registering anything.
Yeah.
Things will be blurry.
Yeah, it means we are going to sleep.
Dizzy, right? That is sushupti. Our children will naturally fall into that state. A yogi will study that and consciously get into that state. So why should we get into that state? Because only then you will see the energy patterns.
But why can't we simply sleep instead of sitting and doing?
Endless sleep will happen anyway in the grave. Right? When you are alive, it is not about sleeping at all. It is about being fully awake.
Right.
You have given life not to sleep, right? It is about fully awake, and people like me, when came in touch with Sadhguru, he made me in such a way that for the past 5-6 years, I am not sleeping only. To hardly 2-3 hours, I am getting to sleep because of the kind of activity. Yesterday also, I was traveling. It is not about making yourself busy with a hell lot of activity and having no sleep. It is about enjoying life on planet. Enjoying life on planet, people will immediately think pub, drink, drug and all. That is getting sick. After the party, you will go dead sleep. After the party, you will take rest, right? Entertainment that people are following today,
It's very temporary.
Is getting sick. Come with me, I'll show you a different level of joy where you will be fully awake and you will have no regret and you will sustain that joy and you will be healthy.
Right. Okay. But I have seen this, you can do anywhere, right? You can sit in your room or in your terrace and everything. These people, they go to Himalayas. You spend so much money and you go there, to close your eyes and sit. Dude, you will have to see what is around you. I mean, that's what I'll do. Why should someone go to, this biodiversity rich places and sit and do these meditation? They can do anywhere, right? So what is the thing behind that?
Fashionably going there for a meditation is even, I don't encourage that. But there is a thing to sitting with eyes closed, because I was talking about spirituality being a world beyond the sensory perception, right? So when you shut down these senses, the beyond will become a reality for you, right? When you are silent, when you are away from all the sounds, you will hear different sounds which you've never heard before. In a soundproof room, it happened. I used to construct a lot of soundproof rooms, right?
Yeah.
If you make the soundproof so perfect, you will hear the sound of your heartbeat, your blood vessels. It has a sound, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, 0 to 80 decibels or something which your ear is tuned to, you will not hear the inside sounds. Only a meditator can hear the inside sounds. Meditator can actually see the inside. The spine, the bones, and everything can be physically seen when you activate the third eye. Yeah.
Okay.
Feel anyway is there because we already have it. But turning the eye within and then looking at inside is there, and that is what in one of the Telugu podcast I was saying. I was shocked to know from my Kalari guru that he just asked me one question. I went with this National Institute of Technology attitude and all. He just slapped me with one
You're from NIT, is it? NIT Warangal. Okay.
slapped me with one question. He said, "Where is the liver? Where is the kidney? It's inside you, right? How the hell, what stupidity is it to read it from outside in a book? How stupid it, can you imagine? How stupid it is."
I mean, that's how we are trained, right?
No, see, we are living in a socially accepted insanity. So, that is not a. Do you understand the base?
Yeah, I understood.
A lot of people have to be slapped with this question. The damn heart is pumping inside you. You are writing a 2D picture in a textbook and reading about it as if you don't know it. Is this not stupidity? I became silent for so many days. This haunted me like crazy. I mean, job of a guru is to awaken you into a different thought process, right? Then things happened, and then I started exploring things, and then understood what we are reading through school, the knowledge that we are getting through the current levels of education system is a total nonsense. And then I started searching for a guru. In my exploration, I roamed around the entire country, been to Nityananda and all the top gurus who are promotional gurus, and also unknown gurus also in the caves also. But none of them satisfied. A lot of them don't even know things which I know. See, in childhood, I used to be like this. People give the lunar eclipse, solar eclipse, and all things written in the school, right?
10-mark question.
I was not able to understand even that simple diagrams also, because the moment I come out, I see the moon in the sky in a 3D picture. How can I relate this to this? Unfortunately, in my school also, when come around, the friends who come around with me will just simply mug up and by heart whatever is given and then
Very
produce it in
static images.
exam, right? But when I look at it, very rarely this happens. I don't know to how many it happened. I was not able to understand what is written in the book because I was confused with the 3D picture. When they say moon's orbit or something is inclined, earth is inclined or something, how is it possible, right? And when teacher asks students, what do you want to become, what do you want to become, I was the only guy who raised my hand and said, I want to become a scientist. Much later in my life, I understood real scientist is a sage. Real scientist is a yogi. Because let me give this definitions also for people who are watching, so maybe they will understand. Yogi, we have a concocted idea in the society. Yogi is simply a person who is not willing to settle with the ready-made answers.
Right.
With the religion, science are giving to us. You want to explore on its own. So, yogi, sadhaka are the people, and this particular knowledge is abundant in Indian spirituality.
So you're saying, to come back to the question, you're saying that people can sit anywhere and do it. You don't have to travel for that.
Of course, that is
But
true.
what about people who travel? Why are they making it look very fancy?
Yes, there is one thing. I don't know whether people do this knowingly or fashionably, but there is one thing to it. Sadhana. What is the most powerful spot in a knife?
Knife.
Yeah.
The edges.
Tip of the knife, right? It carries enormous amount of sharpness and hence the power, right? If you look at the planet also, I'm just explaining the design of things, how it works. In the planet also, peak of a mountain carries extraordinary amount of power spots, right? And also where the oceans, rivers and oceans meet, beach.
Right.
Lot of sadhakas you might have seen in the empty beaches, not in the beaches where people go. They choose the beach areas as the sadhana spot. There are places like this. You can, a dome and a pyramid structure, Aurobindo. Why temples and all these things acquire those structures, there is a whole science behind it. But I mean to say, these are powerful spots. Even if you drag a thick-skinned atheist also, he will feel something at a beach, empty beach, especially in the Purnami nights.
You're conversing with the nature itself. So
You will, something beyond the physical will get activated and you will be melted down and you will become silent. All your ego, arrogance, attitude and everything will fall down.
Exactly.
When you look at that spot. These guys who don't believe in devils and everything, they will for sure hear all kinds of sounds and noises which they never heard in their life. Tremble them to the core.
I will run away. I'm very scared.
But I mean to say, if you are an exploring person, if you are a yogi, you will sit with those sounds and you will explore what is happening with the inner system. And when you said about Himalayas, why do these people go, right? If you're going to the place for a different kind of energy there, you're always welcome to go. But fashionably, hey, I'm going to Himalayas. Even donkeys also trek Himalayas, but they don't feel anything.
right, but that is also good, no? That making it, making travel very spiritual.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. Since you spoke about energy, I want to, ask you this question. In one of your interviews with Nationalist Madrasi, he's also a valued member of SMaRT. So you were explaining him about this, hand fist energy or something. So when I was seeing that interview, I immediately drew parallel with, cinema, where these actors, have you seen Balaya's films?
Yeah.
The moment he sees the villain, he does this, automatically his hands come. All heroes do that. All heroes do that. So is it like something which got misinterpreted later, that when you get angry, your hand automatically goes like this? Or no, it's out of curiosity. Yeah. So is it automatically it goes, and later on, like many other things, many other distortions, this also got misinterpreted? Is it something related to it, or am I asking you a dumb question?
No. Actually, to explain different concepts, we will have to take the objects in the world to explain. If you go into the Shastras and Vedas that our people have written, there are beautiful examples which will just open up a different reality to you.
Right.
In your mind. So, to explain how the energies work, I just demonstrated a simple experiment to him, so that, see, when we are living on the planet, if you actually slow down things and wave your hand so subtly, you will actually feel a material over here. This is not an empty space just like that. Just because you are tuned to it and never observed it, I mean to say, if you hold your hands together for a while also, you will actually feel a ball of energy.
Yeah.
If you put a microscope to the finger, and then the empty space which our eyes are showing us will be seen as atoms and molecules, right? Who is drawing the boundary over here? That simply means both are merged, right? Who is drawing the boundary over here? The illusion of the boundary is happening in the human eye. So to transcend it, this transcendence and then looking at things equanimously is an idea coined by Indian sages. Nobody else on the planet ever coined such innovative ideas that we did. Because we were constantly seeing the beyond, we were constantly in transactions with extraterrestrial beings. Gandharvas, Yakshas used to land on planet and Devi Devatas used to roam around. Vimanas and all, let's not get into it.
Right. So, I want you to walk us through, before your pre-ashram days. Why did you actually become what you are now? What is the pinch for you? To be very precise, people call you Sanghi, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, how did you become a Sanghi without going to the Shaka?
When you talk too much truth, you are called controversial. When you do yoga, you are called Sanghi. When you talk about spirituality, you are called, people call with so many different names. See, there should be a journey that will actually guide you to the path. The kind of situations I have seen, I explained what happened with my book when I was a kid, right? How things are so difficult. I found things.
You were an inquisitive kid in that.
Because the things which are real to us are being taught in a book as if we don't know. the ultimate reality, if you just go and raise your head in the sky, the way you see things are being taught to you in a way as if you don't know. That is the irony of education. This happens throughout the life, and then people who come out of 20 years of institute are dumps. What is labeled as knowledge is ignorance. What is labeled as ignorance is spirituality, the real knowledge. This is where the world is going. And then all the technological advances that we see is actually going backwards. And people recently, Massachusetts Institute declared that Newton's laws are copied from Vaisheshika Shastra, right? You might have seen. So that means somewhere in the past, people have stolen all these books and then had a very concocted understanding. It is not a real understanding also. They misinterpreted things. These are not simple things. People without a telescope have seen galaxies far, and then the constellation, Nakshatra Mandal, Rahu, Ketu, Graha and all, Jyotisham, you know, right? People have calculated the exact distances and then the constellations and then how the grahas move around. Everything was so sophisticatedly done that your horoscope can be predicted. Astrology, Jyotisha Shastram.
So when did you realize all this? Where it all started?
So I was going through a normal education lifestyle, but constantly there were situations which I used to encounter which drove me towards spirituality. The biggest thing happened when I started reading Osho in my 2011 second year, third year of BTech. So Osho happened to me.
Why did you read Osho? You in second year of college, you should be a comrade.
I was a martial arts guy and I was exploring in the internet where there is learning some martial art and everything. This colory thing started popping up. Everything is colory is the mother of martial art and all these things started popping up. Then I started exploring Bodhidharma, fascinating stories around, and then immediately I happened to read the White Lotus book written by Osho on Bodhidharma. My God. Osho's books, you know, right? It doesn't come with a preface and everything. The starting line itself is blasting. So he was talking about nowhere and now here, breaking down. It was very thought provoking. And then at that particular age, when I had no introduction to a Guru Shishya Parampara, spirituality, everything, how do you read? Like a college guy. Absorbed me into different things. Then I started reading Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, Patanjali Yoga Sutra. A complete washout of my brain into a completely new world. I started looking at, oh my God, this is what I should learn when I was a kid.
So naturally you were inclined to this from the start. It was not like you were...
From the beginning, I was a normal guy who did not give a damn about going to a temple or something. Very rarely in my childhood, one incident happened that I told in many podcasts. In my hometown, there is a Shiva temple in which there was a marriage function, and my parents asked me to come. I was very reluctant to go to a Shiva temple because I was an avid cricket player at the time. Never visited to any temple.
Typical boy.
Marriage, food and all these things, okay, friends and all, I went. Brahma Murari Surarchita, this tune with a dolak, they do, right? With Nadaswaram and all. They were doing that. The resound of the walls in the temple is so loud that you cannot even speak with the other guy. That is how loud it is all going on. And then when I went inside, I felt so scary and uncomfortable being a kid. But still, okay, marriage, food, friends and all, I was going there. When I was in front of the Dvajastambha and when I was going there, something got so melted down, tears started flowing within me. It was scary, but at the same, when I looked at the linga and all these sounds and all these things,
Yeah, it happened.
it melt down and then got scared and then parents took me away. So that was only one incident. After many, many years, never such a spiritual hit happened to me. And much later in Samyama, it happened. When I did Sadhguru program, it happened. So I can explain many things out of it.
Okay. When did all this start? What was your age when you started reading?
I was around 18, 19, 20s, in my 20s.
So you were never in that side of the spectrum? No. You're a Agmark Sangi then.
If I was same idiot like everybody else, going with parents will spoil you with their desires rubbing on you that you should marry, you should do this job and all these things. Of all the people, If one child escapes the family, he becomes a yogi.
Okay.
It is very rare that a person escapes a family and then pursues spirituality. But if he does, he will become a huge asset to the world itself. World cannot lose spiritual people. When you look at the most affluent countries, they are the most sick people, right? You look at the medication and the pharma industry that we have medication for everything. But still, why people are sick? That means the medical industry failed, right? Allopathy failed, right?
Yeah, that's why someone said when you have a lot of kids in your home, send one to the army and one into spirituality.
Oh, someone said?
Yeah, someone said. I'm not able to recall who said.
That is fantastic. That's a very good statement.
So this thing is becoming so much of spirituality. I think I already got a third eye with all your, this thing. So I will, ask you one question with a video. I'll show you one video. So, this lady was sitting inside the temple and she was, reading a Bible for 2-3 days straight. So a lady, she went and they questioned her, and you can see if you watch that video, you'll see that lady is saying that I was a Hindu. She is recognizing the fact that her ancestors are Hindu. But she's coming inside a temple and sitting reading a Bible, which the actual Christians wouldn't do that. At least our friends who are Christians, they won't come inside the temple. So they don't even take a prasad from us. But this lady is coming inside, and what I feel is that there are a lot of people like her who are facing this dual, loyalty crisis. Yeah. Many people are facing this. Good thing is our ancestors, they remained, they didn't get converted. And, when we now started, this whole Hindu Renaissance happened. And when we look back, it's like, yeah, this is our lineage and we are proud about it now. So, but these people, when they realize that and they actually find out the truth, they're like how we, you're from Hyderabad, but you're in a different place. But you have loyalty to both the cities. Like you like both the cities. You're neither here nor there. You in your ashram, you had a lot of non-Hindu friends who are into spirituality. So from your personal experience, have you seen this kind of dual loyalty crisis that people are facing?
Politically motivated and this religiously motivated groups will involve in such kind of cheap activities just to target you, just to defame you. For example, I recently had an incident where few people were eating non-vegetarian in the temple.
In big temple, Tanjavur temple.
Horrible thing. These are like, mentally motivated people only will do that. In Isha, what happened, see, when we look at the theories that you can't kick out these other religious people, you have to bear with them and all these things. Isha, Sadhguru is a place where we have seen a lot of other religious people converting back to Hindutva. They are owning Shiva and sadhana and yoga and practices in such a heartful way and in such a deep way that you will be shocked to see there's thousands of Muslims who are yoga practitioners, hundreds and thousands of Christians over there. And because he is only talking about the science without any political or religious frills into it. Yoga is, of course, belongs to Sanatana Dharma. If not, nobody even thought about these postures and all these things. Sadhguru speaks about how Adi Yogi is the first yoga teacher and all these things. You know how he arrived at it?
No.
In West, when he went to meditation programs, he saw that people are answering, Madonna invented yoga. Who invented yoga? Madonna, they are saying. What the hell, if this ridiculous lady is famous for yoga, I should do something to correct this. That's when he started building a structure, Adi Yogi, the source of yoga. All the Hindu idiots who are going about saying this structure is not in Puranas and all, the hell with you, man. This is the purpose of establishing a figure. No other Hindu leader did this, right? No other Hindu leader did even thought about attempting to promote Sanatana Dharma in such a large scale. Goes into a Dubai on stage and then sings Mahadev. You have seen that? My God.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor to introduce the man we've all been waiting for, global visionary, founder of the Conscious Planet Save Soil movement. Ladies and gentlemen, Sadhguru. The floor is yours, sir.
महाकार योगेश्वर काल काल योगेश्वर काल काल.
I was having a different kind of joy.
I think Sadhguru attracts youngsters a lot.
He is convincing the toughest,
Exactly.
the Angrez. He's convincing, his job is different compared to him. I mean, for me, I can elevate him to a different level, but keeping the thing aside, consciously I'm telling people that he's more Hindu than any other Hindu in the country. He's purposefully getting into the minds of youth. The Sadhguru is for idiots like me because we were college going fashionable idiots, right? How do you attract this lot? If you tell Vedas, they will just skip the video, right? They will ignore you to the hell. They will never even come back to you. If you tell them some kind of Vedic line you tell, that's it. They will never come back to Hindutva. These kind of people have become hardcore Hindutva practitioners. I started reading Gita, Veda and complete Hindutva only because of Sadhguru. If he was not there, I would have been in Fengzhou University working for Christopher Nolan, ILM, some great artist, something.
Right. So, yeah, coming back to the thing. So, have you, have your friends shared who are non-Hindus that they're facing this kind of a, problem and unable to display it outside because obviously they'll get social, sanctioning, social punishment amongst their own group
Yes.
because they're disrupting their social order. So, have you had that kind of, because, why I want to talk about this is people are actually, bullying the one who are converted. All that kind of abuses are happening everywhere. But actually, those guys are going through a lot, which is for a closed room discussion. They don't come out. So, did someone really, you have a lot of friends, so can you?
Yeah. A lot of people approached me and I got some cases where they got serious ill treatment within their churches also. You don't believe me, one person approached me saying that her pastor, sexual abuse case and all these things. See, what they do within is bullshit. And what they do outside is totally useless to the society. And these kind of people, motivated agendas, where they want to disturb the peace of the other religion. Any religion, they want to go for Hindus because we are the silent people, right? Our yogis have taught us to be compassionate. In Hindutva, compassionate is the highest quality that one can carry, right? Taking this as an advantage, there is a huge genocide culture, whatever happened, the Goa Inquisition story I need not talk about. Whom to blame? State governments. When the chief minister itself is a convert, what else do you expect in the state?
What kind of stories do people tell you when they are facing these kind of? I get the whole point that you're saying, but at a micro level, okay, this is a problem. So, did someone come and tell you personally in your ashram?
I didn't know. I will never go into the depth of those stories.
What do you think is the solution for it?
Spirituality is the only solution for any problem on the planet. But how do we put them? How do we put spirituality to the people who hate this to the core? It's just not possible. Then we have to walk the other way around. So again, Sadhguru is doing it perfectly right. When you talk in terms of beneficial ways, it will cure your health. It will cure. There are scientific results which have shown the mental ability has increased after doing Shambhavi Mahamudra. And all, everybody will get attracted. And when you open the gates to every kind of person without any religious restrictions, then it starts transforming the society. That's how he has 7 billion people influence. It's not a small thing. So we have an active solution going on here. Just have to subscribe to it.
So when you talk about spirituality and all this work that whatever you've been doing, and I want to ask you a question on Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa and her charity work that she was doing, and she was one of the most successful evangelists planted by the West in India. She was receiving like so much of billions of money, But Hitchens, in his book, he and her own nuns who were like working with her, they came out and said that the clinics which was run by Mother Teresa was not at all, habitable for patients. They used to not even give painkillers, the medicines and all. So where do you think actually all this money went? Because all her clinics were substandard, not even substandard, it was poor quality.
Directly to Vatican Bank.
But was that not the source for her money, no?
One German journalist, Walter Weber, he exposed that the financial transactions of the missionary charity of all the charity work of Teresa, he found that all the money is going to Vatican Bank. And there are few authors who have written that if Mother Teresa withdrew her accounts, transferred money, bank has to shut down. The whole Vatican has to shut down. That is the amount of funds she deposited there. So apart from that, let's understand the character Teresa.
She's a most celebrated social worker.
Media of those times and the politicians of those times projected her as a saintly figure, but she is a monster. That's what we heard from her own nuns. The whole nonsense of Christian missionaries helping people and becoming famous as saints is based on one principle of forgiving. Apart from things that you already said, in repeated usage of same injections, you know about it? This is horrible. There was no treatment center inside at all. No medication were given to patients who are suffering with TB and diseases like cancer, etc. Not knowing how to control the kids, they were being tied to beds, and all this kind of things used to happen in the Teresa Center.
She used to say the patients that when somebody is in pain, she tells something like, Jesus loves you, that's why he's giving you pain.
Because, see, what do you call a person who loves the suffering of the other, who enjoys the suffering of the other? Monster? She is no less than a monster. This is a monster Teresa. It's not a Mother Teresa. So, she qualifies that by any word of action and the history. If you look at the exposes that did by journalists and her own nuns, we hear ridiculous amount of stories which has been backed by Mother Teresa's own thoughts, own talks. She comes out on stage and says when 24,000 people died in her center, she said they got ticket to heaven. The kind of facility given to nuns, they were asked to beg. In spite of all the funds that Teresa gets, her own nuns were asked to beg outside for money and food. They were forced to eat spoiled food. That is the kind of treatment. You look at their stay areas, barely anything. They were given 2 pair of dress.
So, but she's like portrayed as if she's the messiah of peace, love. Even in her school books, even today, every government office has a picture of Mother Teresa.
That has to go. This story has to go into public, the reality of Teresa, because you look at the innocence of a monster that she herself doesn't know that she is a monster. That is what the big book does to you. When you are brainwashed in a certain way that you don't even know what is saving people, what is charity.
What was she doing with those billions of dollars predominantly? Where was she?
Of course, used in the missionary conversion activities. And mostly we see these pictures of the bank with a lot of mafia funding the illegal activities and stuff. There were a lot of murders and things associated with the bank.
So now I'll show you a picture. You will have to give one caption for it.
Okay.
Okay?
Top personality, bottom municipality.
See, we all do it.
I mean, in my level of, the way I live, the way I am used to things, now I am no more into that. So, I would go with this caption.
Very well. So, why, these days, all young men, they carry guitars in their hands to impress women. And, in the famous movie also, in a train. So, it's a very fancy thing to hold a guitar and all. So, I think those days people used to carry damru. That's why he's also having damru.
Damru there's a lot of spiritual significance to it.
I'll tell you, for someone like me, damru is a Shiva's instrument. He carries it with him. it gives good music. I mean, until and unless it's not played at night 12 in the night. Okay. But what is actually the significance of Damru?
The shape and the sound that it makes, let me put it scientifically. When you keep zooming in, there is a video on YouTube, right? When you keep zooming in to the galaxy level of pictures, you will see the Milky Way galaxy. And if you go a little back, there is much more, millions of galaxies itself. And then when people started tracing the paths of the galaxies, it actually looked like a Shiva Tandav posture. You know that? When people start explaining the Earth's movement, the Moon's movement, and all these things, it becomes a very complicated science, right? When you actually trace out that, look at the complete picture of all the galaxies, it just looks as if Shiva dancing. It just looks as if Shiva dancing. How did our people arrive at it? Ancient people, the Nataraja pose and all these things.
I think Mr. GK is going to come up with something for this.
So I mean to say, now people are releasing the sounds of moon, the sound of sun and all these things, right? Someday they will also release the sound of Damaru, saying that this is heard from somewhere so and so galaxy and all these things. So people, when they are into spiritual sadhana and all these things, in their dreams they hear Damaru. In their sadhana they hear Damaru, right? And that Damaru sound will not be equal to the regular marketly available Damarus. That will be something different. A little tinge of it is available in inner engineering. Sadhguru plays this, in some events. That is it. That is how it sounds.
Right. I think now people should actually, have Damrus in their hand and roam around. Yeah, I think you should start that trend.
No.
So if you can, I'll ask you some fun questions, okay? If you could go back in time and cover any historical event, which one would it be and how differently you would report it? Imagine you're doing a string video and you can pick one.
Paramatma himself declared that he can't go back in time. But for the sake of it, I'll answer. So I want to change what happened during India-Pakistan partition. It is not done properly. And that bloody mistake is responsible for today's suffering and the future suffering also. If that was fixed, we wouldn't have been this much. India would have been superpower. We had people, so many people who would take it to that level. So partition was not conducted properly. I want to fix that.
And if you want to report something differently?
My reports would have been, if I were a journalist of that era, I would have said, conduct this equal partition for all the equal religions properly. You said that is an Islamic country. Don't keep Islamists here. Bring the Hindus back. That work is not done properly.
So you'll report that. You'll report the loopholes in that.
Yes.
Okay. And if you can interview a political figure, not spiritual, some political figure, who will it be and what will you ask?
I will interview Ambedkar.
Ambedkar? Wow, okay.
Because Ambedkar ji, in most of my videos, people think I speak against Ambedkar and all this thing, right? But I have one positive thing about Ambedkar. He is the only person who declared Muslims cannot coexist with Hindus. He is the only person in his book India Partition or something. He is very clear about it because most people, what is prevalent in the market is only his anti-Hindu work. But he equally worked on Islam. He equally did a lot of work on Islam and then written so many theses. He understood the mindset, the Islamic mindset so well, and he declared that these two people cannot coexist. Better do the partition properly. If I get a chance, I will interview and make his podcast viral. That is a beautiful thing. Actually, a lot of people should know and understand this, that idea of coexisting, diversity is a completely wrong idea that the secular people are giving. Diversity means, in Hindu itself, there are millions of different sampradayas. Unity in diversity is about that. It's not about completely other belief. It is how can you
I think the word secular is very misinterpreted, right? We are secular by nature. Selective secularism is what we are against. Yeah.
And also, yeah, that clarity people should have. And also, I'm talking about how can you coexist with a person who abuses Hindu gods? Even if somebody dares to do that, Sartan says do that treatment from the other side. This is what Ambedkar ji is good at, and I would interview and get the more out of it.
Nice. I think things will change if you're, yeah. So, those days, in all these institutions, JNU, IIT, IIM, everywhere, all these prestigious Indian Ivy institutes, people from different spectrum, left wing, right wing, center, whatever, they all sit together and debate, fight, quarrel, do whatever they want. And then after that, they go to their mess, canteen, eat food, again become very jovial. But with this upsurge of social media, people are like fighting with each other, abusing family, bringing grandpa, everything is happening. All sorts of things are happening. So why I'm asking and why I'm talking about this is you and Dhruv.
Yeah.
You don't like him, he doesn't like you. There's nothing personal. I mean, you are giving some facts which he is not agreeing, and he is talking something else which is often being debunked. So there is a clash, ideological clash, and there is some. So is there something you admire about him?
Dhruv Rayati is just a teleprompter reader, number one. He's been promoted by Pakistani jihadis and this Aam Aadmi Party, Kejriwal, and the government itself might be giving, the JNU journalist itself might giving him the script. Because you look at a person, the number of videos that he posts and the editing, it is not a one man's work. His face is being used by the background people for the political mileages. He is being given a chance by these parties to become a sweet face so that all the leftists and rightists will get confused and fall into the trap. He is the most dangerous person than any other jihadis out there. So it is nothing personal against. I mean, I want my country to be safe. So any sorts of misinformation which goes into the public and a lot of youth following you is a dangerous thing to the society. There were many events recently we are seeing. The man put something against Modi and the video was taken down. And this Kejriwal apologizes for sharing his tweet and all these things. Total targeted against BJP campaign. And he's the strongest guy they have, the left ecosystem has.
So you don't admire anything from...
As a person, he is worse than a beggar. That is the significance I give to him. People don't need to listen to any of the information from a guy like him. They have something known as DigiPub, which pulled all the leftist journalists, all the YouTubers, media, and they take care of the funding and all these things. We do not have a similar organization like this.
Counter.
The founders of SMaRT, I'm really proud of how they observed this idea and took this into action. Now we are a group of 200 odd members, right? Fantastic. This needs to increase. A lot of people try to get many influencers into the group. I mean, of course, nobody funds us. My channel itself is gone, right?
Yeah, true. Dhruv's channels is still there.
This is our situation. People who go against the government, who want to pull down BJP are viral because YouTube itself is against Hindutva.
True. So, is there one old school journalistic practice that you miss today, and what is it?
Going and talking to people personally with a mic is what is missing today. All the information which is readily available is being consumed and then journalism out of it. What nonsense. Earlier days, people used to go travel.
Yeah.
Nowadays,
Politicians used to get scared to face the journalists.
yes, because the information is live. They go to places where even raw agents will not go. That is what is totally missing nowadays. People are lazy, right? You sit in front of computer, you get all the website data and everything. Unfortunately, this is not journalism. But now, today is a trend where even fools and fake news peddlers were awarded Peace Award, what to do.
Right. So, one modern trend about today's journalism that you love?
The modern day tools give people like me access to fight the fake news. That is the only help that this technology is doing. But ultimately, technology is not the bad thing. It is who using it. It is the person who uses it is a bad thing. Unfortunately, thieves and buggers will get the best of technology.
Right. So now your channel has been taken down and you have started String Geo. So tell us about that. How is it going and what is String Geo all about?
Firstly, it was an old idea. Many months before itself, I knew that my YouTube will be gone some point or the other. Every video also I was putting, download this video. We don't know when it will be gone. But still, I did not expect that suddenly it will go. A strike, 3 strikes followed by, and then termination happens. They did it unconstitutionally, forget it. When the channel is gone, then I started, okay, this is the thing to go. We actually need many OTTs, not just one OTT. And people, whoever influencers who are doing it on YouTube, start building your own platforms. If not OTT, at least a website of your own, where you put videos.
So String Geo is available for subscribing and everything.
Right now, I launched in a mode of desperation, just to have a presence, but it will go into a very, so the initial site itself is too good. Now it will go into a different level of perfection, and it will have all the features of the top OTTs, all the issues, bugs and everything fixed. Right now the subscriber issue and all these things are happening, which will be fixed, and I will also give a lot of free content.
Okay. So why should people subscribe to String Geo?
Because you need to hear truth.
Right.
That is what I say in my trailer, right? Media is flooded with misinformation. Actually, I don't go by forcing people to get into, we cannot do that, right? We have credibility and things. So I mean to say, there is a need in the society that people are bored with misinformation. You open the internet, all kinds of fake news and stuff, exaggerated. Media reports are overly exaggerated.
How do you validate your information is the fact? Like, do you display some documents?
So I maintain zero margin of error in String. You might have seen, after we exposed, news channels will come to know. After we do things, much later news channels, right now I might be trolled. I have a lot of trollers out there. After a long time, media reports will be the same. Have you seen Article 370 movie?
No, not yet.
Oh my god, you must watch it. I have no regret that my channel is gone after watching that movie, because the same language which I used to speak on String channel is now been spoken in theaters. My god. I had tears when I saw the Pulwama attack scene and all these things, because every event which is pro-nation is been misled, misinterpreted, misinformed in a completely distorted way by these people.
So these kind of things will be debunked in your GeoString. You'll have, and you said it is like Netflix equivalent kind of quality.
Yes.
I think that's really,
You have seen the quality here, right?
yeah. Even your YouTube videos, it was very unique and it got popular because of the quality that you were giving. Can totally
I maintain that.
Yeah, true. So can you like give some tips for the budding, content creators and what they should be doing, what they shouldn't be doing?
Don't follow the trend, set the trend. This is a Thalaiva dialogue. But I mean to say, all the existing methods are useless, because when you look at the way YouTube is promoting stuff, anything that you do profound will be killed. Anything that you do Hindutva will be killed. So you first understand the platform in which you are playing your game. That is very important. Twitter is the only place for us. Twitter will not delete you just like that. Just because somebody mass reported, YouTube might take it down. YouTube will also bend for the opposition's requests, opposition's orders, to put it rightly. They work for, if a Muslim guy mass reports, Hindutva channel is gone and we mass report, no action being taken, is what we are seeing right now. The new content creators, please don't waste your life trusting on a platform.
Okay. Everything, YouTube.
I have seen a lot of people wasting their lives, creating a lot of content, putting so much energy and then 100 views. There's no point.
So now we are in the end. So if you, can express your whole world of journalism and, this whole politics, your guru, everything, your whole world of content creation in just 3 WhatsApp emojis.
Emojis,
And you should tell me why.
content creation emoji. Because editing is like meditation for me. When I get into the action, I forget myself. Meditation is about forgetting yourself, right?
This is a different kind of a meditation. Yeah.
Yeah, meditation is about going beyond the physical and forgetting yourself. When you do that in an activity, it is called karma yoga. So that is content creation for me. What is the next?
This journey, 5 years of string and string geo. That one. Do we have an emoji like this?
There is a,
Frustration. No?
yeah.
Okay.
So that is my office life. Because I have seen hell with all these newbies.
Yeah, you're like Trump also. You hire fire.
I fired almost like 30 people in my journey of 3 years.
So you're making people unemployed.
I have that complaint that I spoil a lot of lives. Unfortunately, there are,
Be careful, okay? People might, take this and
yeah, trawlers is like, I'm the material for a lot of trawlers, right? So I'm not scared of it. But I mean to say, I don't give a damn about what others think about me. That is one best quality I have to move forward. Whether people flatter me or whether people abuse me, criticize me, and all these things, don't give a damn. Just that I love the supporters, of course. People, when they take, feel the need of this activity and then donate some amount to us, we bow down to it. I mean, only because of them I am doing something, some progress in life. So I mean to say, people who come to work with us, today's youth is totally exploited, is what I see. Smokers, drunkards. I put a strict board. Smokers and drunkards, if I come to know, you will not be sent out, you will be kicked out. So that is how I strictly follow that. A lot of people were kicked out on that basis.
But that's a very personal space of a person.
When people come with this kind of explanation, no, I give them a military boot treatment only, because you're messing up your health is a stupidity, and you feel being proud about it is an epitome of stupidity. And I treat, see, it's a stinking habit, right? Spoiling the health and also atmosphere. I usually treat smokers, I usually treat these people who come to employ and then do smoking, treat them very cheap human beings, and then give the treatment they deserve. And then this is one set of batch. Another set of people whom I kick out is people who don't evolve in their mind, thought. Cannot do the level of editing that I do here, right? This needs a different level of skill. At any given point of time, mind should perform 4 different actions. Only then a guy can edit. Me being a professional editor, a simple example, yeah. Do you type?
Yeah.
You know typing? When you see people, Q engi irukku, W, will you go crazy in BP or not?
So in your when String Geo is hiring, you put a job description. You say,
Not for dummies. Not for dummies, because I have people whoever come.
will you get people with that kind of a rule?
I'll tell you, whoever come to me, they say Premiere Pro experts, After Effects experts. When I come and check here, they do not know how to put a border to a text layer also. So when I see these kind of people, to get them to a stage where, idiot, you don't know anything, you start with training 0 here. Itself is difficult. Half of the people will be screened over there. They might have not seen that, their previous salaries in the industry, even if you clean cameras and things, you will be paid 30,000. They know they are a technician. But when they come here and see, okay, even in Premiere Pro, there are so many possibilities. I use a lot of AI and then loop deck and all these sorts of things. Editing can be done so fast. They will be mesmerized. And this is the kind of people I'm getting. And it is not to generalize things that there is no good editor at all. Good editors are already performing better in the industries. And I learned a lot. In this journey, what I learned is, when we go for hiring, we also will be in a desperate mode that there's a lot of pending activity. We need to put more people and edit it. And then, the lot of stories to be told.
But don't you think it's quite contradictory, because creative people, they intoxicate, right? Even film editors.
Fantastic that you raised it. Creative energy is a total feminine energy. Maintenance energy is a masculine energy. When you combine both, if you are not evolved, you will go crazy. That is what happening to a lot of people. Artists will naturally be in a feminine attitude, volatile emotions, very loose, and all these people. But maintenance guys will be so like a dry stick. These guys will run away if asked 2 questions. They will not have patience, right? An office structure needs a mixture of both to be conducted properly. There should be an academic process. There should be a creative process. You can see how much I have gone through in the past 3 years. You know, if I had opened a psychiatric center, I would have become a great psychiatrist instead of motivating my employees. That is what I go through, and then it drained out a lot of energy in me. Lot of time, many times I think, you know, instead of explaining these people, I would have done it myself. So I go through this, and then frustration, and then removing an employee is a very irritating process. A lot of my employees have formed a group out there, and then you know, talking behind the boss is a very joyful thing, right? Just for the 5-minute pleasure of talking behind the boss, you engage into something which is not worth for yourself and for the other. When you look at me, I keep going. I keep going Ram Mandir, I keep going String Geo, I keep going top and top.
So you express irritation for this journey.
Yes, the kind of person that I need is a sadhaka who will just perform like a soldier. I need people who take my command, not advise me back and then getting into the mindset.
You want really dedicated people.
Yeah. It is not a boss and slavery attitude. There is a difference. Boss and slavery is different from commander and soldier, right? A lot of people mistake the, hey man, who is this guy? I really got this guy. One employee shouted that, oh, this in front of the camera, you are spoiling lives and all these things. He was gone into a different hype, mistaking this. When you don't know a thing, you better take instructions from the people known, right? That's how simple it is. But when they come here and see only 3 editors sitting in this, I mean, this is not a big office and all these things. You need an infra to mesmerize people. They want 1,200 editors team. Only then they will listen to boss. That is what I'm missing. Startups.
Startup problems. Okay.
In my list of people whom I kicked out, these are Hindutva and sadhana related people who actually were students of Sadhguru also, but did not even take a simple basic thing of responsibility into their mind, right? Sadhguru talks so much about responsibility that when you go to a place where, how can you suddenly quit something, drop over there and then move out? End of the day, personal need and money comes into picture, right? I pay enormously to my editors. When I see talent going on, myself as an editor, I know the pain of it, right? So that was never an issue. But still, they took up these chances because not the damn mind doesn't evolve.
So one emoji for politics and everything.
Politics, what emojis would I give?
You like politics, is it? So you should give something nice. Give a flower.
Politics?
Yeah, one emoji for politics.
Heart. Why?
Most of my work is in politics and I love politics.
Yeah, you love politics.
Yeah.
Right, great. Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's really great that, you know, how SMaRT unites people and brings to a world stage the big events connected by Swami Vishwanath, things like that. People time எடுத்து என்ன interview பண்ண வரதுக்கு ரொம்ப நன்றி. I hope most people watch and appreciate this. Write in comments, and from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate SMaRT for taking this initiative, and the new content creators and journalists and influencers, please join SMaRT. Let's make it big.
Thank you. Thank you all.